All right, welcome to another episode of Warrior versus Zombie. And today we're going to be talking about living your vision. Normally in Warrior versus Zombie, we realize that success is a journey, it's not a destination. As warriors, we all have a history of ups and downs, wins and losses that are all part of making us who we are up to this point, providing a foundation for our path forward. We all battle our inner zombie as well as those zombies in our world. In each episode, I interview warriors or have discussions with warriors who are aspiring leaders from all walks of life. Entrepreneurs, artists, health practitioners, business owners, literally any inspired leader that has a story to tell. All of these warriors have a cause, they have unique value, and a vision that generations into the future. And today, I am that warrior. In this episode, I want to talk again about living your vision. So we'll talk about where that is and so on. Let me tell you a little bit about myself in case you don't know me. I'm in my 50th year of my warrior journey, and I've spent 45 of those 50 years in business and personal transformation as my focus. I'm a father of five, a grandfather, author, speaker, podcaster, coach. Today, I'm known worldwide by many people all over the globe as the Vision Warrior, and I've dedicated my life to changing the world one dream at a time and building communities of servant leaders. I'm an author and creator of the Vision Challenge, and I'm a host of this podcast, Warrior versus Zombie. I retired in 2005 and began pursuit of my vision of impact and making a difference. Since that time, I've consulted with many for-profit and not-for-profit businesses, including a 3-year stint as an executive director and executive pastor. Today, I'm still retired, living my ideal day as CEO of my Vision Warrior, co-founder of the Business Growth Network, Vision Warrior for My Wellbeing Compass, and leader of the Richardson Plano Networkers. Also, I'm the founder and leader of the Men's Breakfast Network and a founding affiliate of BeeKonnected. So welcome to Warrior versus Zombie, and today we're going to talk about living your vision in this episode. So let's move forward. If you're watching on video, it says living your vision for business and life. Many times we get those confused, but our life is our vision, and life is made up of both business and all of the other aspects. They can't be taken independently. Sometimes we get carried away and we get too focused at some point on business and or our family, our life, other issues. Some things come into our lives that demand our focus and demand some intensity. But the point is, it's a journey every day, and we all should be striving to live our vision. And so today I'm going to talk about how we do that. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions to start with. First of all, what we really want to get to is making 2021 or continuing 2021 as the year where our network increases our net worth. One of the reasons why I do what we do in Warrior versus Zombie, in this show Live in the Hive on BeeKonnected, and now part of BeeKonnected or Richardson Plano Networkers, any place where I build community, is to increase my impact. The worth I'm seeking first is impact, is those things that will inspire and enable warriors from all walks of life. Today I'm going to talk about 3 keys to success as it pertains to building and contributing to your network, and we'll get into that as we go through these 4 segments. So what does your network look like, and how can we leverage it? We'll come back to that, but fundamentally, Our network, when I'm talking about it, is your clients, your family, your church, all of your connections on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on any platform that you currently participate in, as well as a lot of other things. Like I said, clients, partners, employees, if you have employees, whatever it takes, that's all part of your network. And the question is, how can you leverage? We've just gone through a pandemic. We've gone through what I call the zombie apocalypse, where everybody felt very much out of control. And now, as we're moving and have been moving into this year, we're trying to emerge from that. People are, quote, done with it. And they're seeking opportunity. As Albert Einstein said, in the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity. The question is, are you looking for the opportunity, or are you looking for the door that closed behind us to reopen? And then the next question is, what's your plan? So I'm going to take a quick break. That's kind of a check-in. And I'm going to come back to you after we've heard a little bit more of Ricky Jean Wright, and It's Not the Getting There. And we're going to come back with talking about your plan and the questions we need to ask. All right, we're back, and we left with what's your plan? And the real question is, how can my network increase my net worth? In order to answer that question, there are other questions that you need to answer. So as you're going through this, if you're listening to this, come back, listen to it, have a pen and pencil. If you're watching this on video, you can see I'm sharing the slide, so that would be fine. But you'll see, are you going to do, as you move forward, the same thing, or attempting to do the same thing that you did the year before, the day before, whether it's before the pandemic, after the pandemic, or something in between? Do you want to do more? Are you wanting to do what you've been doing and continue to do more? Or is it that you need to do something different? I think all of those answers to those questions are legitimate. The question is, what is your intention? To do the same, to do more, or to do something different? The second thing is, what are you focusing on with your network, with your activities and your business in 2021? You say, well, I'm focusing on more customers or more clients. I don't know how you answer that question, but I think it's deeper than that. It's a constant focus of and question of, what am I focusing on? What do I wake up in the morning thinking about? What do I go to bed thinking about? What am I focused on during the day? And to answer that question, sometimes you got to think of, how am I feeling, and then wondering why you feel that way. I think that reveals many times what you're focused on, because we tend to feel what we focus on. So if you have a challenge with getting new clients, or an erosion of your client base, or any of those kinds of things, then that's what you're focused on. And probably you're going to feel stressed. Probably you're going to have trouble thinking about how to break out of that, and so on. So again, what are you focused on? The third question, really, what are the best practices, or what are the fundamentals that are going to create the most success from the best networkers to build and sustain their network and really build their community going forward? So those are the questions in terms of answering, how can my network increase my net worth? So first of all, where are you focused? And here, to me, is the fundamental of everything that I have been doing since probably 2014, but along my journey since I retired in 2005 from the corporate world and began my journey of impact, is, why are you here? Why are you on the planet? What is your cause? What is your unique reason? I will tell you, that's not an unanswerable question for any warrior that's on this. Many of you inherently know what that is, But it's just like anything else. It's important that you quantify and nail that down. Why does God have you or the universe have you on the planet? And the reason you're here is not the same exactly as anybody else. We all have a unique reason for being here. The second thing is we all have unique value. Now let that sink in. You say, "Well, I'm in an insurance company, or I'm in health and fitness, or I sell this product or that product, or I manufacture this product or that product." And there are other people that do the same thing. Well, no. Yes, they do similar things. They may even have the same product, but you yourself, combined with whatever you add to that, or whomever you add to that, creates your unique value. And the reality of it is, all throughout your life, if you explore the types of things that your network, your community, your classmates, your family, your friends, your business associates, anybody, the things that they have consistently come to you for, those are your unique value. The key is discovering or rediscovering what that is and getting clarity on that, so that that provides you the foundation for your focus. And the last thing is, where are you going? If anything were possible, it's a key question. If anything were possible, what kind of future could you imagine? I didn't say what kind of future do you know how to achieve, nor did I say what kind of future did somebody else tell you you needed to focus on. The real question is, what does your ideal day look like? Because your future is not just your job. It's not just what you monetize. It's not just your health, your family, your environment that you live in, the how much you travel, any of these things. But the answer is, it's all of those, and it's all of those together. And the key is, you need to understand that unique vision. If anything were possible, many of us limit that. The biggest challenge to your unique vision, and when I do work with people and clients on the vision challenge, which is something that I've authored and is available to people who are in my network, the biggest challenge is the limiting of your vision. Many times, because of things that have occurred in our lives, and they can be zombies that are thrust upon us, they create zombies in our mind, and then in turn limit our view of possibilities. And the reality of it is, anything is possible. The question is, can you envision it? Can you describe it? And then once you've described it, the how and who that can help you will begin to come into focus. Okay? And then that's what you focus on. I'm going to take a quick break here, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about the steps to basically getting to that focus. Very short. I'm going to do it in a very abbreviated fashion, but I want you to understand the steps. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the next segment after hearing a little bit more of Ricky Jean Wright. And it's not the getting there. And we'll be right back with Warrior versus Zombie. All right, we're back, and I'm excited to be talking to you about this. This is my passion. This is the things that I believe in, and the things that I work with clients and have seen dramatic changes and shifts in my world and the warriors that have come into my path through going on this journey. And the first thing you have to realize is that we are all zombies. We're all infected. And I say we because I include myself. Every day when you wake up in the morning and you start through your day and you go through the entire day, depending on whose science you look at, you process about 60 to 70,000 thoughts and or actions that are a result of those thoughts every day. And the reality of it is 95%, think about that, 95% of the thoughts and processing that you do is the same exact thoughts and same exact actions that you took the day before. Those are your zombie brain. Those are the things that you do, your muscle memory, the things that you've learned to do that you don't have to think about. You don't have to worry, engage your frontal lobe. And in fact, some of those things, if you have to think about them, it stresses you out. And that's the key, is there is value to your zombie mind, value to those, because they keep you safe. They keep you from having to think about drive. Once you learn how to drive, you have muscle memory. We've all gone down the road and realized that we were going to work when we were really supposed to go to church, but we were on that zombie thought process, autopilot, as I say. So the key is that you've got about 5% of your thoughts that are really engaging your thinking, your frontal lobe. So you need to wake up to the fact that you are on autopilot, you are your zombie brain, and you need to think about your vision. You need to realize what that is, because if you aren't designing and acting on your vision, your history becomes your destiny. Now, if you're really excited and happy about your history and you don't want anything to change from here till the day you die, seems like kind of a boring existence to me, but maybe you don't need to worry about that. But if you don't want your history to be your destiny, then you need to have a plan. You need to have a vision. You need to understand those things that we just talked about. Why am I here? What unique value do I provide? And then if anything were possible, what is my ideal day? What does my future look like? And that's not a static. It's a journey every day. You're moving forward. You're a warrior. The last thing is transforming. Every day should be growth, should be transformation, should be uncomfortable to some degree. Some days more comfortable than others. The reality of it is transforming, moving forward is required for growth. If you never have discomfort, if you never have pain, because everything is about both challenge and support, you won't grow, you won't be healthy, and you won't have the productive life that you want to have. So then once you understand your reason, your vision, where you're going, is you seek to align your daily actions and then moving towards your ideal day. So you're seeking alignment. This is alignment of your financial resources, alignment of your relationships, alignment of your environment, alignment of your health practices, and all of the things that make up your whole life, such that your daily action that you take is seeking to align to the vision of your ideal day and that future that today you can imagine, to a place you want to be, not just by default, but by design. That's what I do working with somebody as a vision warrior, is when somebody is striving and they now understand, or they've discovered or rediscovered their unique reason, vision, and value, and where they want to go with that, then if that inspires them, beautiful. I may not always be the one to go along with them as their vision warrior, but if their vision inspires them and inspires me, because remember, I'm retired, then I will come along beside them as their vision warrior. However, I can also connect them, and we'll talk about network. That's where network comes into play. That's why network is so important to living your vision. So I'm going to leave you with this and we'll come back to the next segment is why do I network? Why am I part of the BeeKonnected community? Why have I created this 1,700 person or worked to build this 1,700 person network of entrepreneurs and business owners called Richardson Plano Networkers here in North Texas? Why am I doing this? So as I said before, as warriors, as I say always in the beginning of this podcast, as warriors, we all have a history of ups and downs. We all have wins and losses, yet we strive and we move forward. These highs and lows are really all part of who we are up to this point, and they provide a foundation for the path forward. Every day, not just yesterday, we battle our inner zombie, as well as those zombies in our world. Sometimes there's a lot more of them around us, sometimes there's less, but they're always there. There's always people and things in our mind as well as in our world seek to hold us back. But warriors move forward. And that's my dream. My dream is to fight alongside warriors and witness the achievement of all they can imagine, which is where I get changing the world one dream at a time. So let's take a quick break. We'll hear a little bit more of Ricky Jean Wright, and we'll be right back with Warrior versus Zombie. All right. So we talk about why, the value we provide, and if anything were possible, what would your ideal day look like? So those are three simple steps really in defining what to focus on. Now the question is the how. How do you focus your network? How do you focus what you're doing on a daily basis to align with your unique reason, your unique value, and your unique vision? It's very simple. Not easy, but simple. First, you need to have that network, and we'll talk more about that, a little more detail as we go forward here, and then we get into land the plane segment. But let's talk about that. You need network, you need tools. Tools in today's world take very much their online, offline, and then tools of how to do things, training that you need. We all need to be growing. In fact, Anil Gupta, one of the guests on my Warrior versus Zombie podcast, wrote a book. It's called Immediate Happiness. And he talks about the 3 G's of being happy every day. And one is we always need to be giving. That's why building a network, if you have a network, your network, you should see people coming in and serving. That's giving every day, and that should be the makeup of that community. The other thing is you should be looking for is an opportunity yourself to give, and then be grateful. In every meeting, every networking event that I do, I never end a segment without a time of gratitude where people can express either thanks for connections, whatever, to be able to acknowledge that. In BeeKonnected, we can do that through star ratings and rating people's performance and feedback and basically edifying them in our community, as well as in Richardson Plano Networkers, we do the same thing. So, and then finally, profits. And I say profits because that talks about, in essence, the return on your investments of building your community and the training that you do and the tools that you invest in. There should be a return. There should be more from that. And there will be, again, if you're focused on that going forward. So let's talk about that a little bit. And I want to get now, as before we take this break, and say that we're going to focus on, in the next and last segment, the biggest difference between great success and our continued struggle being our network. One of my passions. I want to know that you know why you're doing what you're doing, the value you provide, and if anything were possible, what would your ideal day look like? That way we can align very carefully, or I can align people with you. But then I need a very robust network of people because I am only capable of adding the value I can add. And so many people have other gaps and other things that they need. So that network is important. So let's take another quick break, and then we'll be right back with the fourth segment of living our vision in both our business and in our lives through the focus and the value community. So, we're back. Heard a little bit of Ricky Jean Wright. It's an exciting thing. The song has great meaning if you ever listen to the words, and you can listen to the whole song from Ricky Jean Wright by going to Spotify, iHeartRadio, any one of the sources, Amazon Music. He's out there everywhere. There's 40 some songs, and the song It's Not the Getting There is the one that he wrote specifically based upon the messaging that I'm giving to you today, and that's why it's a theme song to our podcast. So first of all, you need critical connections. These are the ones that a lot of people get kind of stuck on. It's the critical connections. You want to communicate with people. You don't really want spam. You don't want people banging on you trying to get your attention. You really want to have critical connections where there's a very solid, non-noisy link between you and components and people within your network. The second one is you want people that really are looking for the value you provide, the unique value you provide, your products, your services, other things, to be able to find you. And in today's world, in the various social platforms and even networking groups, it's very hard. You go around a room with 40 or 50 people like we have Richardson Plato Networkers on a given day, and everybody goes around, they give their 30 seconds, just remaining focused and understanding, everybody understanding what each individual is offering. If it becomes very difficult. So being found by those, then finding people that have what you need. We all have needs. A lot of people come in just looking to sell, and that's never successful in any network or community. You need to, I believe, you come in first to give and be grateful with that for that opportunity, and then what happens is the network then gives you a return on that investment. So let's talk about the other types of connections or things that are required to make your network work for you. These are growth connections. You really want to find people who have a larger audience. When you say influencers to promote you, those are people, either the people running the network, people that are key leaders in the network, people who've already established their reputation in the community, in a broader audience, and get to know them, and so they know you, and they can broadcast or enhance or amplify who you are to their network. Finding partners, people that can partner up with you, and maybe you're providing similar, you can collaborate and promote, and you can promote them and they can promote you. It's a kind of a win-win mutual thing. You want to find affiliates. Maybe you're looking for just people to sell your stuff, and it could be, doesn't have to be employees, it can be people in your network. It can say, if you identify somebody that does this, there's some compensation or some reciprocation that can occur. Finding event coordinators that need speakers. One of the things that people, when you're networking, you're building your network, taking it to the next level is serving your network with educating them on the things that you know, not necessarily what you monetize. It's not a sales pitch. It's basically sharing your unique value in a presentation setting. I know presenting is a scary thing. A lot of people have trouble with that. But one of the best things you can do is be on one of these shows, interview, talk about the value you provide, talk about the things you've learned, or get into an event, a chamber, a Rotary, a networking group, and be able to share what you know and help serve the community. And finally, it's, there's broadcast. You can find radio, TV, podcast hosts. You can be part of the BeeKonnected Live in the Hive and get out there and get your message out that will then, again, return some value for what you've invested as far as your most valuable asset, which is your time. Then you want to have strategic connections. You want to say, okay, I'm providing this, but I can add this capability. I can add, one of the things I'm working with is technical folks and financial folks, and different people focus on different areas. And if somebody is working with somebody on financial planning and they need some, and they don't sell, let's say, insurance products or whatever, the person may have some gaps in their risk management, or they may need some health types of protections and those kinds of things. So those strategic connections enable you to do that. A lot of times you need people that can help you. In today's world, you need technical people that can help you get out there and expand your world, because technology is changing so fast. A lot of times you just need you're spending, as an entrepreneur, business owner, spending all your time working in your business when you really need to be working on your business and focused on the unique value you provide. And there's other people that have unique value that complements you. So you should be outsourcing that. That's what I used to do, was large multi-billion-dollar outsourcing contracts. I'm a big believer in focusing on your value proposition and then connecting and aligning and building a team around you, that where people are doing the things that you don't necessarily like to do, aren't the best at, right? Sales and marketing people that can, again, accentuate your provision. If you're the person who likes to do but needs somebody to promote or sell, then you may need people that can also market and sell your capabilities. And then finally, this is the no-brainer, is how do you have strategic connections that get you to the right clients? Everybody knows what it's like when you don't have the right clients. You may have a client, but the wrong client can take 80% of your effort and give you 20% of the value, when the right clients should be providing you 80% of the value with 20% of your effort. And those are the things you're looking for, regardless of what your measure of right or wrong or profit is, as we talked about before. So let's take a quick break. I'm going to talk at the end about the world moving on and online, and just land this plane with the final segment of Warrior versus Zombie. So let's hear a little more Ricky Jean Wright, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. And as we left the conversation, we said the world has moved online. I think I said maybe before is moving online. That's kind of a crazy thought right now, because for quite some time there, when we talked about physical distancing, not being able to meet in person, not even in some parts of the world, not even be able to get out of your house or go to your office or do anything like you were used to doing. Now the world has moved online. The world's not going to move offline. So whether it's building your network and whether it's any of those types of connections, the key is we need to move online, and we need to figure out how to do that. As we talked about before early on, to accomplish that, you need the network that you have. You also need to know how to do that. That can come through your network, and or that can come from training and people who've already been there, done that. There's so much online training. In fact, in the BeeKonnected community today, and it's growing every day, we have about $40,000 worth of training available to our community, essentially for the cost of, being in the community, which is virtually everything from, well, it's minimum of $299 one time. So $299. So it's pretty crazy how much value there is there. But the key is here, it's not the getting there. And I'm going to end with this. It's the journey every day. If you the song that we play between the gaps, you need to step back and listen to it. Let me tell you what it says. It's funny how wisdom and truth are always two different games. The years go by so fast is a common human complaint. The memories in our mind turn to diamonds in our soul, and by the grace of God, we go on down the road we go. It's not the getting there, it's a journey every day. It's not a race to see how many people know your name, which is essentially what you do out there in the quote social world, where they're really trying to sell to you those companies, those platforms, rather than you connecting and with intention, as we've just talked about. One day you'll realize time is worth more than the gold. It's not the getting there. When you get there, you'll know. The first verse is actually, wish I would have learned this truth so many years ago. Be thankful for the days, good and bad. That means the ups, the downs, the wins, the losses, the challenge, the support, as you go down life's road. And then realize that it's slow and time is required. But by the grace of God, on down the road we go. So, with that, I'm going to end this show. Thank you for being here. For those in the audience, thank you for those that will watch the replay and those that will see it on other platforms. But I've enjoyed this episode of Warrior versus Zombie, and you can see us back next week or hear us back next week at 11 a.m. Central Time, and I'll be talking to Carl Flowers, who has been one of our Warrior guests quite a few episodes ago, to talk about our current events and how they marry up to history in a warrior mindset. So with that, let's hear the last segment of It's Not the Getting There, and we'll be back next week with Warrior versus Zombie.